Hey everyone, welcome to Super Gamer Bros. It's Thursday. We had a few technical issues getting ready, but
We
it's time
lost
to get the show
Cynic.
on the road.
Cynic has
Will
entered
show
the
up some
void.
point in time, like we don't know where he's
In the
at.
void. We're just gonna say he's in the void.
He's in the void somewhere. But we want to get the show on the road because, like we decided we wanted to do, we're gonna talk about a topic. Then we're gonna jump and play some game stream afterwards. And tonight we're playing minus Pocky because she has to go to work early. Dead by Daylight. So we have Giddings going to join us and play. So we're going to go around and kill each other. Should be quite interesting, right?
I think so. The last time we had a lot of fun. I had no idea what I was so being crowded, and it led to a lot of me dying. So
we're Super Game Bros. I'm one of your hosts, Slayton. You can find me on Xbox at Slayton. Any place else is going to be Kaiju Stone. This is also our first time we're streaming to Steam. So we'll see how that goes. Because I've been testing.
Oh God, we're getting sucked in that void.
Yeah. We're just gonna
and
have
we're on Plex Storm, so you'll for once see me with a top on.
Yeah, we get a lot of comments on Plex Storm. We're expanding out where we're going out, trying to find our right audience. And I think it's working.
Our audience seems to be predominantly perverts and stoners.
Yeah, stoners love fan service. I can't even lie.
We also got the pervs apparently talking a lot of Plex Storm, which I'm a perv too. I mean, obviously I stream on it. Like I said, I made the joke. It's the most I kept my top on for that side of the stream.
So, Super Game Bros, we decided we're going to talk about a topic every week based on something we found in the news. And Pocky shared a story this week that
I wasn't expecting us to talk about. I was just like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why?
Well, the thing is it's something that won't go away.
No.
Let's tell everyone what the topic is.
Okay, so the topic...
Should streamers have to pay developers when they stream their games?
No. That's the end of fan service, guys. Super Game Bros. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Next subject. Should water be wet?
Hold on. There has to be a reason behind this because the industry is changing, and this is something that keeps happening. But the thing is when I was doing Brad's Red Web this week, I had forgotten until they talked about it. This has already happened with cosplayers.
Yes, it's already happened.
It's a recurring thing with cosplayers because a lot of them do make money as the costumes and outfits. And so this is kind of a different ball game because you didn't make the game. You're just streaming the game.
Correct.
So let's look at reasons why.
Can I explain who said this tweet? Let's first explain. Yes. The man who said this tweet is one of the higher-ups of Ubisoft, a company not known for making piss-poor business decisions.
True.
He was in charge of the last two Assassin's Creed games. He claimed to be a creative director of Stadia, which turned out to be a lie, so he lied about that part.
Cynic's back!
And a whole bunch of other stuff. This guy he said this. And collectively, the entire industry said no, except for a handful of other people, and including one developer who everyone's like, why?
I understand.
So really, it's a one business guy who may be getting kicked out of Ubisoft soon for reasons that we'll talk about later.
It's still out there, and people are still going to be looking at it, and it's not going to go away. Because
it did go away. It went away in 2009. In like 11 years later,
it came back. And it's good because there's a massive difference between 2009 and today, game industry-wise. Because everything is drastically changing. They're going to be losing physical sales. And Nintendo pretty much shuts down anybody that streams.
Nope, used to. They still now. They stopped that. They stopped it right after they said it.
So let's look how long that happened. But
4 months.
Let's look at why this could be a thing that actually happens. So since Cynic's late to the party, we're talking about should streamers have to pay developers for games based on this tweet that came out from some fucked up person at Ubisoft. What are your thoughts?
Should, and you'll have to excuse me because I know that you sent this in a text message and I did ponder it. So I'm thinking Should streamers pay developers? I mean, this is kind of the equivalent of. It sounds like a barber kind of rents their seat so
Yeah.
they can charge to cut hair, or a stripper pays for the time on the stage, that sort of thing. I would say that, I mean, if streamers had to pay their developers in order to stream, there better be some big, I don't know, guarantee of viewership based on what they have to offer and what they can put up. Because when you have places that already have an established location that either gets frequent people or has frequent traffic, that sort of thing, then you can charge people and say, hey, yeah, it's going to be $300 for the seat, and this place gets this much traffic. If you work hard, you'll probably make certain amount. They can kind of approximate that. So I mean, it's no surprise that this kind of business plan is coming around for established streamers. I would say, like, people who are, I'd say there should be options. If a streamer just goes out there, builds their own fan base and everything, then leave them the hell alone. But if there's some sort of program that says, hey, this is a new streamer who's having a hard time getting a sort of base, then maybe there is like a charge for something like that, and then you get some sort of
the other way around,
and you get resources for that. But yeah. I think in general, like, I'd say a blanket statement across the board. Should we do that? No, I don't think it's best for everybody.
Well, so Cassandra's right. We should switch it, because you shouldn't charge people who are trying to make something, because they'll never make it. You should maybe take a percentage on people who have like the millions of followers, because they are making, they're making money. And I understand to a degree where you'd want to take like maybe 2 or 3%, which is not a lot when you think about it.
No.
But it also supplements the game that you love, that you are streaming all the time. Like, I would happily do that for Destiny if it were a thing. But then also, we're at this weird crux where streaming right now is like Hulu originally was. Everybody put their content on Hulu because it was new, and you could watch TV shows there. But then, as the industry changed, everybody wanted those streaming platforms. So what I can see very easily happening is Ubisoft saying, you stream on our streaming platform, you can stream all you want for free, our games. You go someplace else, you got to give us a percentage of it. So then you're going to start having these developers trying to devote time to create their own streaming sites to take on Twitch and, for lack of a better term, YouTube gaming, because they can control that ecosystem. And I think that's a very bad, dangerous way to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is the developers are doing everything they can to just get a piece of the pie. They just want a piece,
The Bobby Koticks and the Activisions and all of them, they can't have enough money. So they will never not have enough money, because they have to have more money. Not to pay workers or anything, but just to have more money. I mean, Bobby Kotick is literally, the number one most overpaid CEO for what he does in his job.
We're not trashing the game industry right now. We're talking about... We'll talk about that maybe next week. But
so
you have to understand, this is their job. This is they make money off of video game sales. And if everything's going to like a Games Pass subscription service or a digital thing, or people just aren't buying a lot of physical games anymore. Like today I read that GameStop is changing how they're going to sell games. They're only going to really carry the top 200, which is still a lot. But you have to ask for anything that's not, that they'll have like in the back room if they have it.
Special order or something, or
people aren't really buying games.
HEB tried that with only doing the top 10% movies, and then they immediately shut down their entertainment section. So
no, they didn't.
I was. Well, it's the one only
HEB Plus still has giant entertainment section right over there on Riverside.
Okay, maybe the Riverside one's doing really well. But here's the thing. They're charging advertisers to be advertisers after many of them are giving advertising to pay. See, streaming is advertising. It is the greatest advertisement ever, because the game companies don't have to pay. Yes, it is. It is straight up, and I can prove it is.
It is so overly saturated that you can literally watch anybody playing anything. It's just like we're to that point where there's so much of it. It's not really free advertising anymore. Everybody already knows these games.
No.
You cannot tell me Fortnite is free advertising. Everybody knows. Everybody streams.
No.
Even like a lowly dog could stream Fortnite. So there's no value in that anymore.
Yes. Hey, what did we want to play last night? Hold on. We wanted to play a game last night. What was it? You said we should all get together and play this one game. What was it?
Among Us.
Right. How many was the max players before Among Us got popular when it came out a year ago? Oh, it was like 100 tops. Then it got popular on Twitch, and all of a sudden it's now racking up in the millions. And senators and congressmen are playing this online to get people to vote. It's free advertising.
That's a great point that you made. That was very specific. I would say since the Twitch bubble, I would agree with you that it is heavily saturated, and it kind of has burst at this point in its oversaturation for sure. I would say streaming at its core should be free advertisement for sure, because that's what it essentially is. You have people playing your game, they're having fun with it, and it makes other people want to play that game. I'd say, I mean, I don't think that idea is ever really going to go away. And I think, yeah, for sure, sometimes you'll have something else that pops, like Among Us popped like real quick, you know.
Guys popped real quick.
Yeah, and I mean it popped real quick, and it like everything that gets super popular, it'll pop up and then kind of go back down, like kind of like Pokemon Go, but you'll have your steady fan base and stuff. You'll still have that base that makes money for you after that whole pop. I still think that at its core, should developers be charging streamers? And I think it's pretty dangerous. I think at this point they are kind of scrambling because times are really hard right now for everybody, and the gaming industry certainly is no exception. They're hurting. Well, depending on the company you ask, anyway.
They're all making huge bank right now. In fact, yeah, we won't go into the Netherlands. It's just banned loot boxes from their country.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on the company and the circumstances. But I mean, I don't think you should charge people for that, because essentially, I do still think if we're going with the original idea of streaming as a way to get eyes on your game, and someone else who loves to play video games and has a decent personality is able to make a living off of it, I mean, that's cool. Twitch takes their piece of the pie already, and developers want to kind of dig their fingers into that. So I don't know. I'm uncomfortable when it comes to developers who already make money one way, and you're supposed to make some good video games. You're going to put some loot boxes in there and make a controversial decision that way in order to make a little more money off your game. And like, God, okay, now you're going to pay people for streaming and to get eyes on it. Like, what else are you going to try and charge for now? So
apparently to put ads, apparently there are now unskippable video ads in video games.
Yeah, in-game ads, unskippable in-game ads are pretty rough.
Oh, that happened in 2K21.
Yeah, I would say
the new NBA game.
I would say the 2K games are especially awful at that. When it comes to their loot box advertisements, all that stuff, like they go pretty.
Sorry. The other part of this Twitch was that the other part of the tweet, this 3-part tweet rant that this guy had, was he said gamers get their games for free.
Meaning some Twitch streamers get the game early and stuff.
Right.
Some will get it early. There are definitely people out there who still pirate.
Certainly.
He's probably looking at Games Pass plus the new Ubisoft channel on whatever the hell Amazon's doing with their game streaming system.
Yeah.
Where you just pay the monthly fee and you get access to all those games.
Except in the user agreement, Xbox says they encourage you to stream.
Which I understand. But
then
these people are so dedicated to these games, especially like, let's take Among Us. There's only so many little microtransactions you can do for cosmetic items. no matter how many people are there. They're a small team. They don't have big backers. They could use 1% of someone like Ninja who may play it 5 days a week. I do not think it would be a horrible, horrible thing for a small percentage of what these professional streamers make to go to the developers. I mean, I'm not saying like a huge chunk, but like 1%, 2%, just to supplement the games that they love. And they should be happy to do that.
Okay. We're talking about a game industry worth billions of dollars that only purely goes to most of the higher ups of these companies. And we have to subsidize, after we have to pay $60, about to be $70, by the way, dollars for a video game, plus the microtransactions, plus the season passes, plus we have to now watch ads that they are getting paid for through Amazon or whoever. And we need to give them 1% of whatever top streamers make.
So, Pocky, how much do you think a AAA studio spends on a game? Let's take the new God of War that's coming out, or even Spider-Man.
Okay.
How much do you think it actually takes? Because it's usually it is a one-time sale. It's not like movies, which have rental fees and a long life of people buying the physical copy or the digital copy, or re-release in movie theaters, things that extend out over a year. Most of these games have about a month from their launch to really try to make as much money as possible. But then you get games like Warcraft or Destiny or League of Legends or these ones that are meant to be services that, yes, they will sell something once a year, like the new Warcraft is apparently coming out on fucking Thanksgiving because they're stupid. But they still have to supplement development and things like that.
Right, that's what a monthly fee is for.
And as much as you want to complain about, only the higher ups do that, that's every fucking business right now. It's not just
that. And we should stop doing that
problem,
too.
But it's not going to change with our political system. It's not going to change overnight. So, yes, I understand you're like, we don't need to give away more money. But they are developers. They have their whole job is to make video games. And if you are going to change the industry to these channels or games for free or Games Pass, which is where we are going, whether you want to admit it or not, they have to find other ways to make money, to make the next game, to keep this game going, to keep a new IP or create something new, or to keep their staff busy. They have to.
They have no problem keeping their staff busy. They do tons of crunch.
That's also part of the industry. It's been part of the industry. Yes, we need to change it, but you know what? It's not going to happen overnight. I am talking about.
It literally could, actually.
It could not. I'm talking about.
Yes, you do this thing called
talking about sustainability of a video game studio who are required and just really working on maybe one release a year. That takes. Have you not looked at a movie credit? I mean, look at a video game credit of Animal Crossing. It's 5 fucking minutes. Those are people who have to be paid, no matter how much you think they get paid, or underpaid, or overpaid, or overworked.
They're not getting paid.
They are getting paid something.
They are Activision's employees are getting paid so little.
About the inequities in the system. We are talking about how these game studios continue to make money so they continue to make games in a changing game market where people are not buying games. Activision's never going away. The
CEOs needs to go away.
Never going away. It's a sad fact we have to deal with because we don't deal with that industry. We don't regulate that industry. You need to write to the people who regulate that industry to say, hey, we need to fix this, we need to fix that. And not all developers are bad. Let's look at Devolver, which we love. Do you not think maybe they could use maybe 1% of these million-plus streamers so they could put it into their games and their works?
Devolver, I don't think Devolver would do that because Devolver understands free marketing.
They do. But there's a bottom line in the business. You have to make money, and you got to get money to make better stuff. If they got that 1% from a few streamers, let's take 10 streamers. That's a whole other IP property. That's more people they could hire to do something new. That's more stuff they can put in all their video games. As opposed to I bought this game this one time, and I'm just kind of done with it.
I want to know how the gaming industry survived before online microtransactions now.
They survived on physical copy. Cynic is either lost or he's just quiet. They survived.
No, I mean, it's more entertaining. I mean, I'm only gonna bring things down if I start talking, and I don't want to bring it down because sometimes listening to you guys get into it. I mean, any time we start talking about inequities when it comes to gaming, the gaming industry, and the treatment of its workers and things like that. Yeah, I mean, it comes down to lots of raised voices and fun for me. No, I think when it and you know me.
Fun for me.
Yeah, because whenever I chime in, it just kind of slows things down when you guys are on fire like this, and I'm not going to put out the fire. But since I've been put on the spot now, I will say that AAA gaming is super expensive, and it's only going to get more expensive as technology to render graphics makes things run faster and all that good stuff. And make a bigger staff, make things sustainable. It's only going to get more expensive as time goes by. And many game developers, because not every game developer is Activision. Activision is not the only person out there making AAA games. Activision is also not the only game developer out there who is putting a time crunch on their on their employees. And yeah, it's everywhere. However, there's a huge problem when it comes to the cost of these AAA games and getting them out in a certain timeline. So, I mean, it's a really hard problem to solve because it is so expensive. So I'm actually not against developers trying to find new ways to make money. But I would say my problem is when they start going outside of the realms of the game that they're developing and making the money off of, meaning they're going to start going out to streamers and stuff, which their game is already out there. I'd say the streamers and whoever else should be able to do whatever they want with it at that point. It's free advertising for them. It's a living for the streamer. Your game's out there. It's doing what it needs to be done, which is getting played and hopefully getting played by more people. But when you start charging them more just for playing your game, I think that's a bit weird, especially if you outprice yourself. And let's say a big streamer decides, hey, you know what? That dude's trying to charge me. To hell with that. To hell with them then. Let's say Ninja decides, hey, they're charging me too much money. This other developer isn't charging me money to play a certain game, and he decides to play that one. You can start playing that game. You can start kind of going down that rabbit hole, and it might be a big mistake for people. It might pay off for people. So just coming up with this idea, there's going to be pros and cons for it either way. I'm just a little nervous about that whole thing because it doesn't feel right. It feels like they need to figure out a different way to make money. Loot boxes are a great way to make money for these big developers.
Everybody hates them.
Everybody hates them if they.
And they're being banned in other countries right now by the dozens.
Yeah.
Norway just banned theirs.
And my thing would be make a better type of season pass or DLC pack that you get the cosmetics that you need. Make them fairly priced and then earn a little bit more money. If you're going to have loot boxes that affect the way you play the game, then I'm not going to play that game. It's just as simple as that. If you want to have some loot boxes that give my character a funny voice or a costume or whatever have you, I'm cool with that as long as you don't make me play your game forever. Because I mean, I'll be honest, if I play a game and you're not going to put much DLC into it, but it's got a ton of loot boxes and most of the stuff is going to be locked, I mean, I'm not going to play your game. So I paid what? Let's say Halo 5, for example. Halo 5 didn't come out with paid DLC for a long time, and a lot of its stuff was locked behind the loot box system, not a level system like, say, Halo Reach was. And I played it for a while, and once I realized I'm not getting anywhere, I just stopped playing. And there's some serious thought behind. I haven't bought any content for Halo 5 at all since the launch of that game. I'm seriously considering, am I going to get Infinite? And I've always bought Halo when it first comes out, since I played Halo 1. And I just, yeah, it's a slippery slope on how, and I don't think people are worried about losing their current fan base. I think what they're more concerned is getting fresh eyes on this game and making the money while they can. It's like Gavin said, within that first month, you're going to have a new fan base. You're going to have all these people getting that, and then a lot of people are going to go, you know what? I want this. I just want it. So they're going to pay for it. And
which is weird.
Yeah.
When we talk about the Let's Play, because a lot of the kids, people that are watching these people to stream games, won't play the game. There is a statistic that reads that's why they watch it. They don't want to play it. They just want to watch someone play it, especially younger kids. And the other really interesting point you brought up is they have to keep making bigger, better games. We created that expectation as gamers.
Yes, we did.
And that caused new equipment because computers change every 6 months. The graphics cards change every 6 months. They're starting to sell out. Like, it's becoming a hot commodity.
Yeah.
You've got new developers that are up and coming, old developers that are up and coming, developers retiring. You've got people who want to take chances on IPs. You've got independent studios. You've got major studios. It's become this weird ecosystem of a monster we created. I've talked about this before. We made this monster. And you want to talk about crunch time? CD Projekt Red did crunch time for Cyberpunk.
They're still doing it.
Nobody complained.
Yes, they are.
Well, it's Cyberpunk. We understand. Because
they are complaining. There's hundreds of complaints.
Not as many as anybody else. Because I've never heard you talk about CD Projekt Red. You always talk about the other ones.
When we were talking about others, actually, CD Projekt Red did come to mind because there was a little controversy when it came to The Witcher 3 as well. Witcher 3 came out to critical acclaim. It's one of my favorite games ever, and I mean, certainly that did happen behind the scenes as well. And the problem is it's so common at this point that it has to be seriously egregious to get any attention. And if it's getting attention, then you know it's bad.
It's not necessarily bad. There are crunch times. Hold on. There are crunch times no matter what job you have. When you're making a film, you have crunch time. You're making a board game, you got crunch time. You work in radio or anything, I've had plenty of crunch times. Yeah. I'm pretty sure crunch time is not just a video game thing, but it's because sometimes you make a plan and you fall short. And it's going to happen. It's just bad project management usually. Yeah. But you cannot, especially with this year, you cannot predict how it's going to go 100%. So crunch time is not just a video game thing. It is in everything. And no, it's not always fair. It has sucked when I've had crunch time at the radio station. Right before we launched Coke FM, we were working 24/7 for about 2 weeks. It was insane, but it was worth it. We got a radio station off the ground. CD Projekt Red had crunch time for Cyberpunk. Everyone's going to love it. You know,
for the last year.
You know they're going to love it. Everyone loved Witcher. The end product is worth it usually. But that's not saying it's an okay thing. But you cannot just say it's a video game industry thing. It's even worse in film. It is even worse in the film industry. I've been a part of that. I'm pretty sure you guys have too. If you were part of the 48-hour film project with us, if you remember that fiasco, all that stuff, everything.
But Gavin,
it's just not the video game. And no, it's not fair for the people involved, but it's part of the job.
It one should be, and two, the 48-hour film festival, a lot of the films, and your thing, you said you waited for 7 days of crunch. CD Projekt Red has made their employees do crunch 60+ hours work weeks for a year.
They have a small team.
They have a small team of a couple hundred people. That's not a small team. There's
at least 300 or 400 who made Animal Crossing, sir, and that's nowhere near Cyberpunk level. So don't tell me, they have 100, 200 people, they're fine. That's not fine.
It's also they keep losing employees because of crunch. If they would actually hire people, enough people to do their job and stuff.
How are they supposed to hire people if they're not making money?
This goes. You mean the employees? They should really be making more money. You're right.
Yes. If the company is not making money, how can you afford things?
Okay, hold on.
Back to the living services, the expectations of games, the loot box fiasco, everything of that. They've tried lots of things. I am afraid.
How about making a good game?
They do make good games.
No, they don't. They make shit games that they patch later on.
Now, just to be clear, just so we know, I'm listening but I'm letting this ride.
Okay, good. I just
so-
wanted to make sure.
Here it goes.
Some people release half-ass games because we
90% of the industry.
cannot wait. Did you not read about people's fuss that they delayed Cyberpunk to December? People lost their shit.
Yes, they
Let me
did.
tell you about the Destiny community when they delayed it 2 months. People lost their fucking shit and rioted because we want what we want. We are inconsiderate, and that falls back to the game studios. I have learned to just let things go. When it comes out, I'll be excited.
Okay.
And when we finally get a date, I'm okay with that. But
I'm with
they
you.
have to make money.
Right.
And
I
I'm
want
afraid
to point out.
streaming is probably going to be the next aspect, but it's not going to hurt any of these streamers who have these millions of followers, and this is their job to pay 1% to a developer, especially if it goes to something good. And if they're going to whine and complain about like 1%, they're just fucking greedy. Because you have to pay things to other things. Like the way YouTube Red works. It takes your 10-month subscription and it divides it among everything you watch. Depending on how much you watch. It has an algorithm. That's how it works. So why can't they do that with, well, it wouldn't really work for Twitch. But also, Twitch has such a stranglehold on the streaming economy. I personally love Mixer. I fucking love Mixer. It was a much better place. But it couldn't compete. YouTube gaming, I forgot it was even a thing. There are no other really streaming platforms out there like Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch it got there first and it just swallowed everything that comes
Twitch
after.
It's already making money off streamers.
So
Maybe Twitch should be paying the developers.
So but Twitch is right now going its own controversy because they do not understand the term DCM, the Digital Copyright Millennium Act, very well. If you don't know about that news story, that's insane.
They just don't want to get involved with it.
No, they're siding with the corporations, and they're not telling anybody. So part of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act is you're all supposed to be able to defend that you did not violate the Digital Millennium Copyright Act by showing the clip of the thing and showing that this was not a Digital Copyright Act. The problem is that Twitch has been deleting all of them. So part of the the DCMA is supposed to be allowing the person who's got the claim against them to defend themselves. But Twitch has been removing the offense without telling them A, what it was, when it was, or where it was. So all they know is all their videos are being deleted.
It's an algorithm thing. YouTube has done the same thing before, but they fixed it.
Right, but Twitch is not, and Twitch is still claiming there's not a problem.
Well, I don't think
so for right now, Twitch is on top of the heap, but mostly because they also have the NBA, NFL, and they also have
I get that. But gaming has become a different beast than what it used to. They're going to have to find another revenue source, and it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. Games. So that's been this week's episode.
That was super fun.
That's been this week's episode of Super Gamer Bros.
I think we didn't actually solve anything.
No, we just had a discussion, and I'm not going to argue with you anymore because you will not listen.
Unfortunately, we can't solve Jack. We can only talk and enjoy ourselves. And I definitely enjoyed myself.
I think next week we need to talk about the inequities in the game industry. Just hash this shit out because it's one thing to sit here and complain about it, but what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? That's my biggest question. It drives me crazy about the LGBTQ community because they will attack J.K. Rowling, who has no effect on their life. No, she doesn't, because we've had the English professor on a show to tell you that we took things out of proportion, that we did not understand. So yes, we don't have
hold on.
But we're not going down this rabbit hole. I'm just
because I can't find these attacks.
Oh no.
I cannot find any of these attacks.
You've opened up a new door, Gavin.
Hold on. Because instead of relying on celebrities, you should be going after people like Texas Values and all these lobbyists have the power to fuck your life over. So instead of complaining about it, putting it on people that you think is responsible, go after the people responsible. So if we're going to talk about gay inequality, because the celebrity is not voiced to be your voice. They're entitled to their own opinions. They do not speak for these lobbyists.
Are the voice that people listen.
They don't listen. They don't listen.
Really?
Yes. They listen to everyone that makes these laws and these policies, these industry regulations. Listen to these lobbyists that are sitting there under your nose doing the strangest, stupidest, fuckingest things I have to do every fucking week. That make your life and my life a living hell.
But Gavin, they also use the stuff that Rowling says. They say the things like that are
go back and
watch
lies today.
Rowling keeps spreading lies.
Go watch the first Pride today and listen to Tavis explain.
Yes, I did. You know what I did? You know what I did? I went and did research. I looked up every article I could find, anything I could find at all that said men were dressing up as women to pretend so they could attack people and things. You know how many articles I found?
I will email him, and he will send you everything you need to know, because this is his profession. This is his master's and doctorate degree, is this shit right here. So we cannot argue with him because we.
I can totally argue with him because there's no receipts.
Anyways, we're gonna talk about this next week, and how we can try to fix it. Well, because we need to quit attacking things and go to the source. The source is whoever's regulating this. So, Pocky, it's your turn to figure out who's regulating this and how we can regulate it.
I'll be here to laugh at you both while you go insane over this topic.
All right, so with that, we're going to switch over to Xbox. Cassandra has to go to work early, so she's not coming to play, so we're going to miss you. But
all right.
Next week with fan service and more of this, because Red Web's off for the week. Plus a new Destiny show next week, Fire Team Misadventure. Everyone really loved it. So that's it. I think we're going to play Dead by Daylight, but I got to get everybody gathered, and we may change it. So head over to our Twitch channel, Kaiju Labs Media, and find us there. So that's it for this heated episode. Look ready for another heated episode next week.
Oh, it's only going to get uglier from here.
All right, bye, everybody.